These non-black kids up here in this liberal state in the suburbs are demons.
Hi lovelies, and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Stranad and here is Belly Stitches. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So guys, in today's video I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I thought to share with you guys where this sister actually shared an experience of what she actually had with her kids with some non-black kids in the suburb. And she went ahead to warn black people with black kids to be very careful with such kids. I'm just gonna roll her clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
These non-black kids up here in this liberal state in the suburbs are demons. You know how you go to an all-black school like I did and you have a couple of whites and Asians or whatever, but they knew their place. And by that I mean they knew that all that racist shit that they learned at home, they couldn't take to black people because they would get their ass beat. Here, black people are the least of the population. When I first moved here, my son was like 11 years old, my middle child was like 9, and my youngest was like 3 years old, right? So I let my older 2 children go and play in the neighborhood park. That's where all the kids would go, the neighborhood park. I could see them from my house. It was all good. So one day my children came home and said that some of those kids started bullying them. So I told them hold their ground. Well, one day this child pulls a knife out on my son. Now that was it for me. But I called the police. And the police came out and said that they can't do nothing about bullying and they usually don't come out here with child stuff, but the only reason they came out is because there was a knife involved. They end up saying that they can't find who the child is. No worries. My son had told me what this child looked like because now my children are going to the park. So I saw him while I was driving. So I followed his ass home. So when I hopped out, him and his friends on their bike saw me and they said, oh shit, she found out where you live. I already believed my son, but that right there confirmed it. So I knock on the door, right? A Hispanic man comes out. That's his daddy. I tell him what's going on and I'm passionate about it because his child pulled a knife out on my child. This man looks unbothered by it, which is really setting me off and I'm shaking. He then proceeds to tell me that my son called that little boy the C slur for Asian people. I was confused because I was like, the C word? What is you talking about? Because I wasn't even thinking like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He then says the word. I said, man, get out of my face. My son don't even know that word. You tripping. Your son lying. I called my son. I said, do you know what the slur is for Asian people? He said, what are you talking about? I said, okay. I said, your son pulled a knife out on my son. I don't give a fuck what he called him, honestly. But I'm not in his face. I'm not being aggressive. I've stood back. He then tells me, well, yeah, my son does have this kit with a knife on it. So how would my son know that your son has that if he didn't pull it out? He said, I'll deal with my son. I'll deal with my son. Okay. So I'm walking down and I'm on the street. Then his wife comes out, and it's an Asian woman. Because at first I was confused. Why would my son call your child an Asian slur if he Hispanic? But now I understand. She comes out and she has an attitude, right? So she comes to the sidewalk where I am and stands in front of me. Her and her husband now. Again, I'm upset. Their son pulled a knife out on my son. So I am upset. And so I'm talking to her, telling her what's going on. And she tells me I need to lower my voice. I know it's so fucking lame when people say they black out, but see, I'm schizophrenic and I have dissociation. I did black out. Me, I went away. I came to when I was being dragged and picked up and put in the car. and I was cussing her the fuck out, right? I later found out that I was picked up and dragged to the car because I was reaching for her. So now I'm in the car. I done got put in the car and I can't get out because somebody was leaning on the car, refusing to let me out. Now she on the sidewalk, safe now, and now she want to start getting booked and her husband pulling her away. She don't scream out, "You better not put your hands on my child." I said, "Bitch, I never said I'm going to put my hands on your child. I said I'm going to put my hands on you." Anyway, I had a hammer in the... Exactly. That's crazy because black parents think their kids are safer around non-blacks over black children. Now, before we get to this, I do see the comments, which I knew were coming, that said that I'm one of those black women who thought that my children would be safer around white kids and non-black kids because their daddy's white. I've never felt that way. But y'all do this every time I try to speak on black issues. What do you prefer me to do? You want me to do the after black spouse woman a challenge or whatever the fuck that is? You want me to do that coonish thing? Y'all want me to get on here and down and dog black men instead of defending them, which I have several times over the years with several videos? Would y'all rather, when black women come into my inbox saying that they wanted to date a non-black person, would y'all prefer for me to tell them, no, yeah, do it, instead of vehemently telling them not to? Because a non-black person will never be able to understand your experience as a black person. And it's always for people who don't do anything for the black community. You're not in the streets. You're not even making videos on TikTok about these issues. See, another thing is my daughter, my middle child, who is dark brown and has 4C hair, they were experiencing so much racism at that school from non-black people that they were going to, that I went up to every level above until I got to the director of the school system in this county and had them removed and put into a school with 2 black principals. In addition, as a result of the bullying that they went through that was horrific, I am now on the board of people that are going to rewrite the school handbook. And I informed that director very clearly that my focus was going to be on black children who have the least representation. See, that's what I'm doing when I experience a problem with my children and racism. I don't sit on it and just talk about it. No, I do action. What do you do? Oh, okay. Anyway, I know that black children are not safer around non-black children because I'm from the hood, right? And so my mom knew that the education system around where we live was shitty because property tax is what determines how much money goes into the school system. So for good teachers, supplies that are needed, the schools will have, I went to school and it was like 40, 50 children with one teacher. You can't learn that way. So she put me in an all-white Christian private school for about 3 years, where I learned self-hate, where they were so horrible to me that I learned to hate myself, and I had to undo that, where I had to change who I was in that white school to fit in so that the bullying would stop, which it never did. And then when I got taken out of this school and put back in the school system I should have been in the whole time with my own people, I had to readjust. The reason black parents think this is because we have been taught that white people are better. That's why they think that. They've internalized that. Because what they're taught is black kids in the hood, we just like to make jokes in class. We don't want to learn. We don't want to do any of this. But white kids, they want to just listen to their work and they want to go home to their parents, eat dinner, and then just do their homework and make straight A's and shit. Well, it's not fucking true. I seriously believe that it is better for your children to be brought up around their own people, to keep their culture, to keep their accent, to keep their language, and then fill up the gaps of education at home if you're able to. Because look at these black kids who speak white, like y'all say, and go to predominantly white schools and all that shit when they go to college. They're miserable. I'm too black for the white kids and I'm too white for the black kids. And everyone wants to blame those black children for that. But the problem is that they were taught at home that they weren't supposed to act like us, but they still crave that interaction. And so when they come around us and they're like, oh, my people, they don't know their language. They don't know the rules of engagement, the body language. They don't understand the roasting. And it's not that black kids just love pushing, those type of other black kids away. It's not that. It's that, one, those black kids come off as a cocky. It's not the white talk. It's their behavior. Because those uppity black people were taught that the things that black people do in our culture is beneath them. And those black kids who do bully those other black kids that act like that are doing, unfortunately, what's natural. You push away what's foreign for your own protection. I put it this way. If you've been raised, as you should have, that non-black people are unsafe, and then you have someone come in who acts like the people you were taught were the enemy, they look like a wolf in sheep's clothing. In addition to that, the uppity black children that come in, who is really not their fault that they act like that, it's their parents, ostracize themselves. Okay, like if we were to say, damn, your hair nappy, girl. And this is not about texturism. I'm just saying, how we talk. It's completely different than, oh my God, girl, your hair is nappy today. See what I'm saying? See, me saying that, girl, your hair nappy is not an offensive thing when it's said that way. Because I could have a nappy moment tomorrow. But coming from an uppity, it hit different. And it doesn't help that I was also raised by poor uppity blacks. But that's a story for another day. But essentially, your kids are not safe with non-black kids. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, everything. The type of hate for their selves that can grow can lead to mental illnesses. I'm not going to get into my child's business who was heavily bullied, but I will say this. There was a lot of effects that almost feel irreversible at this point, and I'm really trying. A therapist, a whole bunch of stuff that I'm trying. Just don't do it if you can. Because again, the problem is I live in the suburbs now. It is an entire blessing that the school that they now attend has 2 black principals, and they take racism very seriously. I wish I had known about it the whole time, but it's out of district, so you have to apply for it. Try to keep your kids around their own.
Like, seriously, Lovis, I used to tell, people that is closer to me that this level of Ray and Cs, the issue of Ray and Cs is something that actually, starts from the bare minimum, from the small of the small of the small. That is why it's very ideal as a parent to actually educate your little ones about the issue of Ray and Cs. Even if some of these pan-colored people sees it otherwise, they goes ahead to talk about how it's not actually important to educate your little ones about Ray and Cis. If you don't educate them, they might actually go out there try to use some sloughs that is not even that is not appreciated, and they might actually go out there to behave abnormal. They might see an adult doing something very wrong, or maybe using some kind of racial slurs and all of that, and they would think that this is a very good thing to do, or maybe you want to actually pick on someone, this is just the way to go, without them actually realizing that this is just the absolute way to go. This is why it's very essential to educate your younger ones about Ray and Cis, be you a black person, colored person, and any other POC person. So this sister in question, I think that she is a black woman with a biracial, and oftentimes a lot of black women with biracial often think that their kids or their black kid, their black kids is actually safer with some group of liberals or some group of not black kids, or because they are mixing all of them without them actually realizing that the reverse is actually the case. They think that maybe being a biracial case, you will be treated but differently, or you will be Ray and Cis towards, or because of that. So I think most parents, she's talking in the aspect of some parents that often think that their kids are not safe in the hands of black children, which they feel that they are safer in the hands of not black case, and now she is sharing her experience about how some of these teenagers go about bullying, or being racist towards her own. And this is something that I don't even understand. She went ahead to talk about how they said, kid parent happens to be a Hispanic and an Asian woman, like a Hispanic father and an Asian mother. And now this actually brought me to ask this question, like, you are being racist towards someone of a color, meanwhile you are also color someone, like you are a colored person, like seriously. So black people will also try to like defend themselves in terms of pan color. They also want to defend themselves in the hands of Hispanic and Asian. Like, this is just hilarious to even listen to. Like, I love the fact that this lady braced up and tried to approach this family, and the way at which they received her, the reception they gave to her, tells the kind of people they are. This is why their offspring is able to go out there looking for his mate to be racist towards. This is because his own parents are even racist. And he automatically sees or feels that whatsoever his parents are doing are of the rights, like they are right in whatsoever thing that they are doing. That's why he have the nerves to actually go out and also think that whatsoever he is doing is right, because he feels that if his parents are doing such a thing, then he's right. For the parents not to even cancel him immediately shows the kind of people that they are. So, like, if you're a black woman who probably, with living in this kind of neighborhood, you just have to watch out for your younger ones, because it all starts from small. This is how it all begins. This is how they'll just keep on trying to, like, Anyway, lovelies, when I saw this video, I was like, I'm just going to put it here. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. If you had an experience about something like this, you could just leave it in the comment section. And please, lovelies, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button. I actually want to try my best to keep this channel running up and running. I want to try as much as I can to put small thing out here for us to actually get educated and informed. So please share if you've not done that already, like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.